Kia ora, koutou katoa no mai ke tēnei wānanga ora me kuhi au me tā mātou manuhiri me te pereheti a Kim. E tēnei rā, e korero tonu ana mātou mō te tahi mea whakamiharo kei te huarahi. Tā mātou huia a mauto mō 2026 ke o tatahi kere roa. Ko te kaupapa he te mara o te tangata ko au tō kauhautu Nika Manuera. Ngā mihi mō tō whai wa ki te hono mai. Me tautaka taki tātou ki a Kim Prasad, ka mātou manuhiri me te pereheti o te raupu. Kia ora, everybody. Welcome to another New Zealand Society of Diversional and Recreational Therapists Korero live session. Today, we are still talking about something very exciting on the horizon, the highlight of our recreational therapy year, our 2026 National Conference in Otatahi, Christchurch. Our theme this year, if you haven't heard it, drumroll please, He Mara Tangata, a garden of people. As you may know, Christchurch is lovingly known as the Garden City. So playing on that theme, we have our national conference under the heading A Garden of People, He Mara Tangata. We are welcomed today by our wonderful guest and Society President Kim Prasad, who is going to be discussing this conference with us today to mention some of the highlights that we can look forward to. Now, this conference is a chance to gather the garden of our profession and really appreciate the beauty and the wonder of us being able to be a garden of people together. Thank you so much for joining us, Kim. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you for wonderful opening of this Korero, Nika. Yes, so my name is Kim Prasad, and I'm based here in Christchurch, which is, you very well said, that is the Garden City of New Zealand. Actually, saying this with the theme of the conference, when I was at the support group meeting one day, and these professional DRTs came up with this beautiful idea of having the theme as the garden, around the garden theme, because they said, well, the garden Christchurch is Garden City, and we should have the theme along that theme. Also, they said, because as we professionals, no matter where we are, who we are, what we do, and in what situation we have, whenever we see flowers or plants, it brings automatic reaction to happy face and lots of smiles.
Absolutely, yes.
And also, through our profession, since the establishment of the DRTs, as a profession, we continue to grow, and this every year. And this year, we chose the theme to celebrate those DRTs' growth over the years and years, and the celebration of all those people who have put in their hard work around it. So yeah, that's how we got up the idea of having the theme for this year's conference.
It is such a beautiful theme, and for, speaking from a little bit of personal experience, I've been playing around with my own garden at my home, and there's so much joy. And yes, there is work involved, but the beauty and the rewards you reap from sowing a garden is just so worth it. So it does seem like a very, very fitting theme.
And
sorry.
Yeah, yes. And you said the personal about your garden theme. Actually, I counted my house plants yesterday. I have nearly 20 house plants in my house. So that's my piece. And that
beautiful.
So yeah.
And don't we feel so invested in the development of our own gardens? It's so exciting when you see them growing like that.
Yeah, it does. And if there's a new shoot coming, then you think, oh, that's the right spot for the plant to stick. Yeah.
Absolutely, especially if we get to eat our plants, like the vegetable gardens and herb gardens. It's so thrilling, and it seems like the most fitting illustration of the work that we do, because there is so much benefit to the work. It's not just
it gives,
work.
inner peace as well.
Yes,
being around the nature.
Absolutely. I think, yes, we are gardens of our profession, so it's very, very fitting. What was your first reaction when you heard the theme?
Personally, because I do love plants,
Mm,
so I thought that was great because, as I said earlier, Christchurch is beautiful. There's gardens, there's flowers, and thinking about what's going around at the moment, what people are going through, and
mm.
knowing that Christchurch has gone quite a lot in the past years
Of
with
course, yes.
earthquakes and having shootings, and people were blessed with lots of flowers and plants. And I think that was a
Mm.
very personal touch there as well to have this theme. So yeah,
That is such a lovely point because you're not wrong. Christchurch has gone through so much trauma and difficulty as a community, but there's
yes,
always been, it's still the garden city. And I think there's so much symbolism in flowers as well. When people are grieving or going through loss, you give flowers because it
yes,
brings, as you said, a sense of peace
yes,
and beauty, and it's that sense of enrichment of your life and
yes.
just having nature around you. That's so lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting the conference in your
Hello.
lovely city. For those who don't know, Kim lives in Christchurch, so it's her
Yeah.
hotspot.
Well,
Now,
it's 27 degrees today, so it's hot as well.
oh heck,
Yeah.
gosh, I didn't know Christchurch could get that hot. I think in Auckland it's only 23 or so, and it still feels quite
Oh,
stuffy.
yeah.
Oh,
It
poor
does get
thing.
hot. Yeah.
Mm. Well, in August, I'm sure it'll be nice and freezing for us.
Yes, yes. And
Uh,
as you said, will be nice and freezing, but the location of the conference is
mm.
just around the park.
Oh, so we get
So
to see the gardens.
So they could see the garden, they could walk around the park. If they're feeling a bit overwhelmed, there's a place they can just walk out of the
Mm.
facility and go to the park, sit down, and come back whenever they feel like.
Oh,
So that's
how
the
lovely.
point.
That's beautiful. And I did notice that at the Auckland conference, there was that special provision for people who do get that overstimulated, overwhelmed, having that
Yes,
quiet breakout zone. I
yes,
loved that. I thought that was so
yeah,
thoughtful. Now,
yeah.
Kim, on the topic of conference, now when we think about conference, people often think about a sort of studious learning environment, but it is so much more than that, as we both know. Can you share a little bit about what conference, outside of the learning opportunities, what it's really for and what you can benefit from attending?
I think personally I would think it's a really good professional growth
Mm.
because you kind of meet people, and sometimes like I work in the community, so sometimes I feel isolated that, oh, if I wish
Mm.
I had a group of people I could go back and share, or this has happened or that has happened. So isolation, I think that's very
Mm.
important. We kind of meet together and come and share what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
feel. And I know people from the past attendance in the conference that they don't see each other over the year, but they really look forward to the
Mm.
conference because they can share their chit chat. Some people known they even share the same room because they just want to connect. So
Yes.
connection is another ways of importance of conference.
Mm.
Personal growth, professional growth, new ideas and inspiration, seeing what others are doing, different approaches to different activities. I mean, I might do something
Mm.
in a different way, and you might do something in a different way. It's just meeting new people, making friends, lifelong friends.
Mm.
So yeah, and like sharing my own personal view. When I first stood up in the election, I would be standing behind, very quiet, um, bit nervous probably, which I'm still
Yeah.
probably at. But people do overcome that after
Mm.
going to conference. They build in those confidence, they build in those leadership skills. So
Yes.
I think it's not only about learning or book or pen, it's more about your self-development.
Mm, mm. And if there's any group of people that's going to bring you out of your shell, it's a room of diversional
Yes,
therapists.
yes, yes. People do share lots of stories, and
Mm,
those are very touching as well. Because sometimes we sit back and think, "Oh, it's just only me." But when you hear others, then you know that you are not
mm.
only in the same boat, but there are other people as well
Yeah.
in your same boat, and that's where you connect really well.
Mm. Yeah.
Having
That.
those honest conversations, heart to heart conversations.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be diversional therapy sometimes. It doesn't have to be walk. It has to be
Mm,
those your own personal moments. It can be your own journey, and we don't know what people go through in their own lives as well. And because
Yeah.
they know that they won't be judged, so they can open up and share as well. So I think
Mm.
that's conference is not only book and pens, it should be own growth and own
Yeah.
confidence.
Absolutely. I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. And yeah, as you said, the stories that you hear at conference, it's so encouraging. And
Yes.
even with, in the facilities, of course, we have a team that we work with. But
Yes.
if you don't work with other DTs, the conversations can only connect so far.
Yes.
Only diversional therapists really get the emotional investment of our role, and it can be really taxing. As much as we love it, there's
Yeah.
always a taxing element, and that's something I do love about conference. Whoever you talk to, they get it. They know
Yes.
exactly what you're feeling.
Yes.
And
Where
as
you
you
come
said,
from. Yeah.
where you're coming from, where your
Yes.
motivation is, and your it's a very unique connection we get to have to clients. It's less clinical, it's more personal. And
Yes.
it does, I feel, and maybe you'll agree, maybe not, but I feel that when we lose a client, it affects the DT team more than the other teams because
Yes.
we know their history. We know
Yes.
who they were as a person, not just as a client. And
Yeah.
it's
So
it,
true. So
mm.
true. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why at every conference there's always a spiritual moment. There's a moment of talking about grief and loss and having that spiritual support, because I feel like our role needs it a lot more than other roles.
Of course.
Mm,
We do need those networking.
absolutely. Yeah.
Never mind if you are in Christchurch or Auckland or Nelson or Blenheim, or we all go through that same pace. We all go through the similar
Mm,
kinds of residents. We all have those same issues. And conference is a place where we all can bring that to the table
mm,
and get points out of it. And you might say,
yeah.
oh, this is this. And somebody will say, oh, this is this. And they
Mm,
all go happy and say, oh, I've got an idea now. I know if sometimes we hear stories and in our minds we know that client or that resident, and we
yes.
go happy, those light bulb moments we have, that
Mm,
I know what I'm going to do now. I know how can I deal with this. So that's
mm.
conference. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we never actually stop thinking about our clients. We're
Yes.
always, even in the subconscious mind, something we see, we go, I know exactly who would benefit from that. And
Yes.
conference helps to spark those ideas and those
Yes.
conversations.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so helpful. I've had so many gems from my attendance in conferences. You just go, oh, brilliant. But the different perspectives and the different approaches, even though we all operate on similar principles, we all have our own personal touch to it, and being
Yes.
able to share that, it helps advance our profession so much. And it's
Yeah.
particularly on that global scale, because we get the privilege of having overseas guest speakers come
Yes.
and share what they're
Yes.
doing in their countries, and that's always fascinating as well.
Yeah. So it's like people, like, I mean, I think that it's not only us here in New Zealand. Japan
Mm,
does the same thing, but just in a
mm,
different way. Or Australia
yeah.
does the same thing, but in a different way. And it's very good to hear from their mouth that now we are on the same page, in the same boat,
Mm,
but just on a different place. So
yeah.
that's another added point coming to the conference, because it validates your thoughts, it validates your practice with
Absolutely.
evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the cultural element, I remember having clients from a culture that I wasn't overly familiar with, but when you get
Yes.
to conference, you get to hear from these different cultural speakers and connect with people of different cultures who can give you those ideas.
Yeah.
It's so helpful. It's not to view it as a shortcut, but it can really help speed up your own professional development by attending and just
Yes.
having that exposure.
Yes, because New Zealand has grown into a multicultural country with so
Definitely.
many different
Yeah.
races and cultures people
Mm,
come from. And it's very good because then we have the idea of where we're going to. If we don't know what that culture comes from or what to
mm.
do, you are stuck. And
Exactly.
conference
Yeah.
is a place you can network about it, and
Mm.
you can go happy and do learn after learning.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So well said. It's so true. Yeah, and that sense of community is so
Mm.
important. You know, we promote it for our clients, but it's also so important for ourselves. And when we talk about the DRT community, it is such a
Mm.
supportive group. But when, you know, conference is really, as I feel like you've highlighted quite well, that's really where that community comes alive because you're
Yes.
just surrounded by like-minded people. You know, what are some key points that you've noticed at conference?
Um, I would say with the community connection, because
Mm,
most of the time, like say after the COVID, most of the things we
mm,
have been doing online webinars.
yeah,
Even
yes.
us, we do lots of online meetings, Zoom meetings,
Mm,
or
mm,
um, and conference is a place seeing face to face or seeing familiar faces. So,
mm,
and in our role, being those face to face contact, those personal touch is very important.
mm,
So
mm,
I think people to put a face to a name is very important. That's where we have face to face conference. So
yes.
people, oh hi, we've seen you online. This is
Mm,
who you are.
mm,
Oh, this is
mm, mm.
who am I? So
Yeah.
people we train with and we lost contact, and that's the place where we go and
Mm,
get connected. Like when I was in the registration board, I used to make those phone calls to people to do their workplace assessment. But then
mm.
when I go to the conference and say, oh hi, you have done my online assessment, I
Yeah.
say, I think that makes a better connection to the reality that I've
Definitely.
just
Yeah.
spoken to you on the phone, but this is who you are, or this is
This
who
is
am
who
I.
you mm,
And then
that's yeah.
people make lifetime friendship during from conference. I have known people from Nelson probably, and they have a friend in Masterton. They don't meet each other over years, but at conference, they would be sitting together, going to the same workshop
Mm,
because they
mm,
share those connection, and it wouldn't feel like that they haven't met each other for like a year or two. So
yes.
there's lifelong friendship is there as well.
Mm,
People feel a sense of belonging, like
yeah.
when we do things and we don't know if it's right or wrong, but when we
Mm,
go to a
mm.
conference and you hear that, you hear from others, you hear from the speakers, you learn from the workshops, and you think, oh, I was right, this is how to
Yeah.
do it. It's
Yes.
just either you hold your ears this way or you hold your ears the other way, but it's the same thing.
Mm,
Yeah. And then in the conference, like when you walk out, don't feel you are alone. You know
mm,
it, you feel it, you have seen it, and you
mm,
have done
mm,
it, that you are not the only person. There's a
mm,
whole lot of professionals. We go through the same boat, we go through the same crisis, we go through the
mm.
same happy moments. So that's shared understanding as well is there.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
diverge. It can feel like a thankless job at times, but when you go to that conference, there's
Yeah.
just such a sense of appreciation for each other because we know what everyone's going through and the effort they put in. And sometimes with no success, sometimes we'll plan an activity
Yeah.
right around a specific client, and the day it falls on, they happen to just not be up to it, and it all
Yeah.
goes out the door, but we
Mm.
see each other and we see that love, and it is coming from a place of love. It's from genuine care for the
Yes.
well-being of our clients. And I,
Yes.
I, I particularly like how you said those familiar faces. You know, there's such high turnover in healthcare. Even the colleagues we make at our facilities, very often they come and go really quickly, and the residents come and go quickly.
Yes.
So having a sense of that consistent community
Yeah.
is such a gift to be able to have, which we get at conference, and
Yeah.
and not so often in the communities.
Yes.
Even with the volunteers and entertainers, there's still quite a high turnover there.
Yes.
It's yeah. Is that
Yes.
something that you've been finding in Christchurch? With
Sorry, it's
sorry,
like
with
more professional network is there. Like
mm,
with the conference, there's more professional network, like people with who want to practice their own practice in the community, like have
mm,
their own
mm.
practice, like an OT or a physio. There are a lot of
Yes.
people trying, but they don't know where to start from.
Mm,
And conference is something where they can have professional networks, and
mm,
I'm sure there would be someone who would be able to guide it from there.
mm,
And especially those who are newly registered as well, because they're
Yes.
quite new as well with this
Mm.
role, overwhelmed, and don't know where to start from sometimes because they are just thrown in the deep end, and
Yes.
conference gives them confidence as well. So they're seeing their own community that we have
Mm.
so much out there we could do. It's not just walk on the floor, like you could do outside work outside a facility as well. You can walk in the community as well.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's confidence building in the conference.
Yeah. I had the exact same experience when I first started in the diversional therapy world. The onboarding, I know the facility tried their best, but they just had no idea where to point me in the direction of diversional therapy. So you sort of have to feel it out. And I feel it takes at least a year cycle because, of course, we recognize days of significance. So it
Yes.
takes that sort of annual calendar for you to really feel seasoned to know,
Yes.
okay, this is coming up and this is important and this matters. And it is a big job to juggle. And conference really helps to give those ideas and give that awareness of what you need to be looking out for. And those professional networks make such a difference.
Yeah.
Um,
Also saying that with their face-to-face connection, it really
mm,
touches people's heart. I mean, I have in the
mm.
past with my previous work experience, I when new people come in, I always tell them, if you don't have a heart, probably this is not the place you should be finding a job.
Oh, I
If you
couldn't
are
have said
coming for
it. Mm,
money, it's okay, but you need to have
yeah.
that heart. That's how you would
Mm,
be able to connect with the people. If you don't have the heart, you won't be able to connect with the people, and you will not be able to success in this kind of job. So people kind of came back and told me, yeah, you were right. We need to have the heart. We need to have that empathy of
yeah.
being in this role as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It all, I think, to make a real long lasting career out of this, you need to care about it because, as we know, the pay isn't what it should be,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
recognition is even worse. So you
Yes.
have to just really know that it and feel it that it's the right thing to be doing and something you want to be doing for yourself to have that sense of fulfillment and motivation because it is mostly self motivated to be good at this role.
Yes.
Mm. Now, the setting of Christchurch. It's been a couple of years since the last Christchurch conference. So, can you talk a bit about the significance of Christchurch as a setting and the theme of He Mara Tangata for Christchurch? I know we did touch on it a little, but if we could go a bit more in depth about that.
As the Christchurch being the garden city and the theme, we have collaborated with them. I believe that it has grown. Christchurch has
Mm,
grown professionally, subdivision wise, the city wise, and the people have grown in Christchurch as well.
mm,
When I say people have grown, I don't mean that the numbers have increased, and obviously
mm,
the numbers have increased, but the people have grown from their heart
mm,
after what they have gone through
mm,
in many years. So I thought that was a great thing that we chose, and Christchurch needs those things because if people want to come and visit Christchurch, and our conference
mm,
is a good way as well. So they come and enjoy the conference, stay a night
mm,
over, get to know the city. Probably that's the in New Zealand, probably that one is the fast and very latest city, I would say, because it's all been built in last 10 years after the earthquake. So
yes.
yeah, and that's the theme really works well. And then the professional focus on growth for many years was like this year is also about pausing and appreciate the beauty of
Mm,
Christchurch as well. Not the Christchurch only, but the people around Christchurch as well.
mm,
As I said earlier, that we have worked many years. There were a lot of people behind DRT establishment, like since 1980s, and I think this is the time we should really appreciate their
mm,
growth, their hard work, and the whole DRT, how it has grown in many years, and where we have
mm.
reached today, from not just only New Zealand, but we have connections probably all around the world. And also
Yeah.
saying that because DRT is not only one person or one culture,
Mm,
just like Christchurch, our working team, the members of the society, the registered members or the members, they all come from different culture as well, different backgrounds, different
Yes.
countries, different religion. So I think it's very important that some way or the other, with plants or with flowers or with
Mm,
growing together, that's the only place we could all come together and say we are
mm,
one. So it doesn't matter where we come from, but when we include plants in our life, everybody loves plants, and nobody
mm.
sees who you are. We all love plants.
That is so true, and the most beautiful gardens. If you go to botanical gardens, there's such variety, and
Yes,
variety is what makes it so beautiful. You get to look out for these different things, and appreciating the variety of people is the same. If we were all the same, it would be a very boring garden of people. But
yes,
because of that diversity, it's so wonderful to admire the differences and the strengths of these different diverse peoples.
yes,
And I love that, you know, it's such a fast-paced world that everyone's living in at the moment. There's constantly deadlines to meet and things to do, and that thought of just taking a minute to appreciate the beauty of what we're doing. We focus so much on growth and development, but let's actually
yes,
take a minute this year to appreciate the beauty of what we're doing, and
yes,
actually, you know, pat ourselves on the back because we do improve, as you say, the quality of the beauty of people's lives,
yeah.
and that's something we deserve to take a minute to pause and appreciate. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just how we have different plants, we have different peoples as well, different
Mm,
culture as well, different ideas as well. So why not?
exactly.
Yeah, it's just the roots may be different, but when we come together, we are all
Mm.
same.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Yeah. The roots is an interesting aspect. There's so many levels to this garden theme. I love it. The
Yes.
roots, yeah, is so special. For many cultures, roots are important. If we think about ancestral roots and cultural
Yes.
roots, can you speak a little bit about how the importance of roots in the diversional therapy setting?
Personally, I think like who am I today is just because of my
Mm,
roots from my
mm,
grandparents, my parents, and my elder siblings. It's what we are being taught and how we have been brought up. That's how we
mm,
grew into different branches. Never mind, we are all at different place, but we all belong to the same root. And just like with the plants, and just like
mm,
the theme we had last year on our National DRT Awareness Week, and a lot of people brought up that as
mm,
well. That when we talk about roots, it's not only plants as well. It's about our own growth, own family, how I bring
mm,
my boys up as well. That will be
mm,
my root as well. And how they grow in their own branches. That will be their branches, but the root would be same. So I believe that no matter where we come from, no matter what we do or how we do, we all have a root. And we all go
mm.
back to that. So yeah, I think it's a very
Beautiful.
powerful thing to say that we all have a root and we all
Yes.
can go back to it.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
isn't there something so calming about going back to your roots where you can just absolutely relax and let yourself be because you feel connected to your roots? That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could unpack this beautiful theme of he mara tangata all day, I'm sure. But what would you say, Kim, if I can pitch a question to you? If someone was on the fence about attending conference, what would you say to them if they weren't sure?
Well, at the end of the day, if this conference, if people are thinking of attending it, I know we understand there might be a price to it. There is a price to it. There is a
Mm,
cost. But I can guarantee you at the end of the day, you will walk out smiling, making new
mm,
friends. You have built in the confidence and you have made those connections with people. You had those heart to heart conversation and you will forget about all the expenses. So your
yeah.
mind, your soul, your heart will be filled with emotions, good
Mm,
emotions, happy feelings, a smile on your face. So yeah, and of course your professional
mm,
development, probably you would have that encouragement to go back and start the conversation with your managers or your team leaders, hey,
yes.
we are DRTs, we are not caregivers, this is our role, we
Mm,
want
mm,
this. And I think that's very important that people need to speak up. And if one speak up, that's how we kind of build the whole team. And then we will have our voices and taken that to higher so that we get more recognized. And
Mm,
people might get those built in those confidence. I can do this. I will do this. And at the end of the day, they'll say, I've done it and I've achieved it.
yeah, brilliant. Oh, I feel so motivated by what you've said. I'm pumped. That's awesome. Thinking in a more what would you say it? I suppose logistics theme. Could you tell us a bit about the registration process, how to go about signing up for conference? You know, the more admin side of things.
Well, if someone's willing or thinking about registration, we do have investment. I mean, not investment. You have like payment options. So
Mm,
you could do like monthly payments of $100 until 9 months, and you could also get early bird registration, which is cheaper. And as I
mm,
said, installments, and with installments, you could directly email treasurer, and he will be able to guide you through your monthly installments or weekly installments of how you want to do it. And also, it's very important to have those conversations started with your workplace, your
mm.
managers, your team leaders. Because if you don't plant the seed, you fruit. So if
Uh,
people want conference,
yeah.
start planting those seeds in your manager's head
Mm,
or your team leaders or whoever's above you. You might get something out of that. Even
mm,
if it's just a conference ticket, or even if it's just the airfares, even if it's
mm,
just accommodation, or even if there's a little for your pocket expense.
mm.
So
Yeah. It
it's
all
your
helps.
work, but
Mm.
you have to plant the seed. We are
Yep.
here. We are here at the back, and like we have those that very good installment option. AJ has said. So I think that's really great, and you won't paying all at once.
Yes.
You can still come and enjoy their conference while you're still paying for it.
That is such a loving provision. And to me, that really communicates how seriously the board and the society sees conferences. We want everyone to be able to get there and are so willing to help in any way we can to aid people in getting there, because I
Yes,
think I think the main barrier is the financial commitment to it. And as we know, the economy is quite hard for a lot of people at the moment. So
yeah,
it's a great thing to know that the society is backing our members and seeing that this is something that people have to face and try to
yes,
manage, but we're still supporting it. And
yes.
that's so encouraging to hear and
Yeah,
to know that it's an option.
and as I said that there is a cost, but when you
Mm,
walk out from the conference, you'll forget about the
mm,
cost.
yeah.
So think about that. Think that's your own. Nobody will take that knowledge from you when you
Yes.
attend a conference and take those knowledge back to your workplace or to your own personal life.
Mm. Yes. And the more our members do, and members organizations, the further it reaches, the easier it'll be next time to get that
Yes,
support, because that recognition and acknowledgement increases, which
yes,
makes it easier in the long term. Even if it is a bit tricky this year sometimes, but we can do it. Use the
yes.
tools, use all the things that we've got as resources to help us get there, because as you say, it's so worth it.
Use your diversional therapy techniques on your
Yes,
managers.
yes. Use your creativity and your people skills.
Yes,
Uh, Kim, if I can ask just one last question of
yes.
you, if you could end this beautiful korero with a last message to our members, what would you say?
At the end of the day, this conference is really about people. The
Mm,
people we support, the people we work with, and the people we make up this profession. In Christchurch, we'll gather as Hemara Tangata, a garden of people.
mm.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your
You're
time, Kim. It's
welcome.
been wonderful having this korero with you. If we could just close in a karakia. Uh, Kia horo te marino, kia whakapapa pounamu te moana. Hei huarahi mā tātou e te rangi nei. Aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou ia tātou katoa, hui e tai ki e. Wonderful. Thank you
Thank
for your time
you.
and your insights, Kim. It's been wonderful. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you at conference, if not sooner.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.